In this week's video, we're going to share the 11 tips to help you be successful as a house sitter in your full-time traveling nomad life. So speaking of traveling, where are we?
We are on a cruise. Of course, it doesn't look like we're on a cruise, but we're on our way to Greenland, and we're excited to talk about house sitting and how you can be successful. But before we get started, this is Chris. I'm Steve. We're Eat, Walk, Learn. And Chris, why don't you share some of those tips with us?
Right. So if you remember in this series, our Your Nomad Adventure Starts Here series, we have been on this hypothetical 2-year journey to help you get ready to launch for your nomad life. So we're at about 6 months out from your nomad life. And you're probably at this point, and if you're traveling with someone, you're getting really excited. You're starting to get rid of all your stuff. You have a plan for how you're going to leave your house. You probably even know where you're traveling to, and you might have even booked some of your tickets by now. But one thing we really want to emphasize at 6 months out, at least 6 months out, is the strategy of house sitting. Now, in last week's video, we talked to you about the benefits and the strategies and why we do house sitting, which we love. We save money, we see a pet, and we have comfort in our life. Look at last week's video. We really want to emphasize that at 6 months out, you've got to plan ahead for house sitting. The timeline is actually very long. It's a long tail plan. Why? What do you have to do in order to get ready to house sit? You need to get really good reviews, right?
Yeah, you need to get some good reviews. So you need to get some house sits under your belt before you start your full-time travel lifestyle. And that way, it's going to be so much easier to get those great house sits like we've had in Italy, in Mexico, in Spain.
The UK, Ireland, yeah, all over the world. So in order to get started, the easiest way to do that first is you need to go to the Trusted House Sitters website. Again, the link is here, and the link is also in our description. And here you sign up for being a house sitter in a mutually exchanging of services environment. You don't spend money, they don't spend money, except as a subscription fee to Trusted House Sitters. But then you sign up and you move forward with finding your house sits. So Trusted House Sitters is a review-oriented website where you establish your references, you set up your reviews, and you review each other, and you also can get liability insurance and some feedback from other users. So that's why we like Trusted House Sitters, and it covers almost the entire world. I think every country we've ever wanted a house sit, there's been a house sit available. Right. So yeah, so it's been fantastic. So getting into the first tip. So you want to set up your account at Trusted House Sitters and create your profile.
Right.
There's some good examples of profiles out there.
Yeah, and if you want to click the link below, we provided a link to our profile so you can take a look at what we do. We're certainly, maybe not the best that you might find, but it's a good example. And you can look at other people's profiles to get some good ideas on how to set one up for yourself.
So then once you get your profile set up, then you're ready to actually go house sitting. Now, you won't have any reviews when you first start. You might be able to link to your Airbnb referral or your Airbnb profile that you're allowed to do that, and people can go read that. But basically, you're coming in with no reviews. So how do you get your first house sit? Our suggestion is you look for house sits in your neighborhood, in where you currently live. And take anything. Take a weekend house sit. Take a day house sit. Take a week long if you've got the time. And just go do it. It may be 7 dogs or 3 cats or things that you maybe don't want to necessarily take care of, but it's only a short term, and it's going to allow you to get that first review. What was one of our first house sits?
You did a few of them while I was still working,
right.
And we were in Denver. You did some where I think one you took care of a cat for like a day and a half.
And I went to Phoenix and took care of a dog for a week by myself. So that's one tip. And then the next tip is you may already have a relationship with someone in your neighborhood that maybe you have a mutual relationship where you take care of their dog when they're out and they take care of your dog when you're out. Maybe ask them to get onto Trusted House Sitters, and then you do a house sit with them through Trusted House Sitters so you get a review there too. So you can kind of cheat the system a little bit by already having an established relationship with someone, but that's another way that you can get onto Trusted House Sits and get a review, right?
Definitely, again, to try to make it easy for yourself so that you certainly do a good job and get a good review. But don't wait until you're like, okay, I'm gonna travel to Italy let me sign up for the house sitters page and see what kind of house sits are in Italy. Start local, just start small, and build up and get some good reviews.
So then the next tip is once you're in this system and you have your profile up there, you'll start searching for the sits that you want to take. You'll reply to one. In your reply, the homeowner will have written up, come and stay with Fluffy. We have a cute house on the edge of the park. It has a pool, and Fluffy needs medicine 3 times a day, whatever. So when you reply, reference Fluffy and how much what kind of experience you have with giving medicine to animals. I think maybe we've had 2 house sits that we had to give medicine, but it's kind of a rare example. But regardless, reference the person's name, reference the pet's name, and reference the neighborhood and why you want to be there. Why do you want to be on Lake Michigan in January? There's a good reason you might want to be there, and you want to explain that in the reply.
Yeah,
or in the application.
So one of the tips that I like to offer is that if you're going to be, again, in an international place and you're not there right now, let the person know that you're going to be in that city. So we just got a nice house sit in downtown Sydney, Australia, and we let them know that we're going to be in Sydney, Australia. We're not there right now, but we are going to be there because transportation is a big issue, and the homeowner doesn't want to have any doubt.
Take on risk for that.
Take a risk that you're not going to be there in time for the house sit.
Right. So let them know you're already there, because we were going to be on a house sit before the house sit. So they were very happy to know that. Okay. So once you have replied, the homeowner will reply back, oh, we love you. We think it's great that you want a house sit. It's perfect. You want to request a video chat. Now, video chat, I would never accept a house sit without a video chat. It's very important. A lot of things happen in that video chat. So one is you establish that rapport, you see each other, you visually get eyes on each other, you have some sort of comfort level of that. Behind you, you'll be able to see kind of what the style of the house is, maybe how they keep it. Are they messy? Are they neat? Are they clean? Are they meticulous? You'll probably get to meet the pet. The pet will somehow come into the screen. Whether it's a dog or a cat or a lizard, you'll be able to see that. You can talk through any special needs of the animals. And then you can also talk through any special needs of the house. Maybe it's a house that's off the grid and you need to understand how to work the solar panels. Or maybe, remember that one in Colombia with the chicken slurry? That was crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but it was particularly care for the dog that involved an extensive process of driving the pickup truck down to the town to get the chicken heads and for the dog. Anyways, the key I think that Chris is saying is that this isn't an interview. This is a job interview. Mm-hmm. You're applying for a job to take care of this house and take care of their pets. But it's also the reverse where you're interviewing the homeowner as well. You want to make sure that this is a home that's going to be a good fit for you. And it's okay to talk about the pet and what are some of the special needs of the pet. It's also
also what is the bed situation? Where are you sleeping? Where are you taking a shower? What's the kitchen like? I mean, if they're vegans and you want to cook a pig, is that okay? So really talk through some of these things. And then at the end, if you think that, and you also want to make sure you are talking through the dates. Yeah. Often the homeowner will put up, December 1st to December 15th. But when you start talking, they're leaving December 1st at 4 a.m. and they're getting back December 15th at midnight. That's not a good scenario to hand off the house and the pets. So you might be coming in the day before or 2 days before or leaving a couple days later. So make sure you really nail down the dates and what the handoff is going to look like. Are you going to see each other in person? How are you going to get the keys? Do you have the codes to get into the house? What other details do you need to make sure you are successfully in the house with the pets and they have successfully left a safe place for you to arrive to?
Yeah, and it's good that you mentioned that you might come a day early and might actually, stay a day late. This is important to understand that you may be in the house with the homeowners and the pet for a day or a couple of days, and that you're okay with that, and that's a comfortable situation for you.
Because everybody's strangers, and now all of a sudden you're all sleeping together in the same house. So that can be awkward.
Yeah, we've had great opportunities to get to know the homeowners.
We've loved it.
Fascinating people. Go out to dinner. Really enjoy the time meeting new people, and again, it's a
Or they'll
great
fix
way.
a dinner for us. I mean, it's always been a fabulous experience being the homeowners.
Yeah.
So then at the end of your video call, you want to make sure you kind of close the deal. If you think that sit is for you, you're probably competing with 4 or 5 other people that have applied for the sit. You need to close the deal and say, hey, I think this sit is great. I think it's a good fit. I would love to do the sit. Please send the sit confirmation email and we'll accept right away. So that is the trigger for them. When they get off the phone call, they go into Trusted House Sitters. They send this little sit confirmation thing. When you select it, the sit closes, you're on it. Nothing changes unless somebody manually goes in and makes a change to it.
But also, as a team here, we need to be on the same page. So if there is any doubts, it's also okay to say, hey, maybe it's the timing is an issue, or maybe there's something else that's an issue. Don't commit to something if you don't think you can do it.
You don't want to cancel a house sit.
Right. So it's okay to say, hey, this is great. We'd love to be your house sitters. Can you give us 24 hours? Mm-hmm. There's some things that we just need to make sure, we need to figure out, to give a lot of, rationale. You just want to make sure that it is a perfect match for
and when you go into the call, you may think it's perfect, but then the dates start to change in the call or whatever, and that's perfectly a perfect window for you to say, hey, I need a minute. Let's call you back tomorrow. Let me check out a couple things and I'll call you back tomorrow. Right. Okay, so once you get the sit, knock on wood, you got the sit, good luck. Then you have that time period between the sit and your arrival. In that time period, reach out to the homeowner, send them a little text, hey, I'm now in Australia, or hey, looking forward to the sit, or can I bring you anything from the States, or, just build a little rapport, establish how you're going to communicate. Are you going to continue to communicate through Trusted House Sitters, which is what they recommend, or maybe you're going to jump over to WhatsApp or telephone or whatever makes sense for all y'all to continue your communication.
Right.
Okay. Then you arrive.
Yeah. The arrival is always interesting and always exciting because you're getting to see the house. Maybe they're picking you up at the airport or, however, again, you're meeting. But, that first interaction with the dog, the first interaction with the house, everything is great. Everybody's happy. The dog's jumping on you, all this fun stuff. It's good to make sure that you understand what kind of special needs there are, if there's any kind of issues with the dog, that you
or the cat,
understand
or the lizard,
things
or the duck.
Right. That you,
but then once they leave, what's the first thing we do?
Oh, so the first thing that I do, I'm the photographer. So I'm going to go around the house and I'm going to take pictures. And I'll give you a little short of why I do that. One of her first house sits that we did was over Thanksgiving weekend, and we was in a small apartment in Phoenix, Arizona. And we made Thanksgiving dinner. And we took every single dish and pot and pan and took it out, and we're doing all of our cooking, and then we're washing everything and cleaning up afterwards, and go to start putting stuff back away in the kitchen. And we were like, well, where were the glasses? Where were the pots? We didn't know where anything went because we took everything out of the cabinets and used it. And so we know that we completely, inadvertently, completely rearranged that person's kitchen. And I felt kind of bad about that. So now I'm obsessive about it. I take pictures of I'm taking pictures in the refrigerator, in all the drawers, in all the cabinets, the beds, the couches,
linens,
all around the house.
How the pillows are on the couch, everything.
So that's and the reason that we're doing that, again, we'll talk about this in a minute, is when you leave, you want the house to look as good or better than it was when you got there.
Right. So do you have a new cup to share with people?
Oh, yeah. I was drinking. This is, what does that say?
The Wilderness Society, Public Lands Champion. It sounds like the Nature Conservancy or something.
I don't know.
I didn't know you got a new job.
This is my full-time job here.
Okay, so anyway, you're at the sit now. You've got, I don't know what tip we're on, tip 9, I think. You've got to actually do what you said you're going to do. Follow the instructions, follow the schedule. If the lizard needs to have his heating lamp turned on from 2 to 4 o'clock, you turn on the heating lamp. If the dog needs a walk at 6 a.m., you'd walk the dog at 6 a.m. So you follow through on the commitments that you said you're going to do. In the meantime, you also get to do the fun stuff. You get to interact with the neighborhood, make friends with the next door neighbor, walk the dog, meet the other dogs, go to the local park, Go to the rec centers, play paddleball, play pickleball, play, whatever that's going on in the neighborhood. We're at our house, we mentioned this last week, at our house in Maine, we went to the local concerts and a couple presentations and did some paddleboarding. I mean, it was
going for
really
bike rides, going to the beach at sunset.
And use the things that the house has to offer. And if you haven't tried mountain biking and there's a mountain bike in the garage and the owner said you can use it, go use it. See if you like mountain biking. So it's really just kind of a fun way to try on a lifestyle that maybe you haven't tried before, and you get to do that at the house sit.
Yeah, I think just again, a key tip is don't think that, hey, you're in a great place. Well, I'm going to take off for 12 or 14 hours and go, touristing. You really have to keep your commitments of, for this house sit.
Yeah. So then it's now time to leave the house sit. So when we leave, we kind of follow the Girl Scout code of honor that you leave it, or the Boy Scout code of honor. You leave it better than the way you found it. So in the areas that we've used, if it's a 4-bedroom house and we've used 2 bedrooms, we make sure the 2 bedrooms are completely clean. Linens are changed, towels are changed, bathroom is clean, kitchen is spotless, refrigerator is wiped down, the water bowls are filled, the dog or the cat or whoever, the litter box has been cleaned, the dog's had his final walk. Everything is picture perfect for when they come back from. I mean, imagine when you come back from vacation, you're exhausted and you're tired, and all you want to do is be in a clean house and in your comfortable bed. So that's how we look at.
And it's not like an Airbnb where you can say, oh well, they're going to come in and do the cleaning.
Right.
No, that's your job.
And so that's what the pictures are for. We go back and look through the pictures and reestablish the house as it was when we left.
Right. But also we want to communicate with the homeowners on their return, and we want to make sure that their return is comfortable. So how do we communicate?
So we might text them and say, hey, what can we get you to make your return more comfortable? And often it's just, some milk for the coffee or some eggs to make sure that they can cook breakfast the next morning. Depending on the relationship that we have and what happened on the handout when they arrived, we might do the same thing in return. We might cook them a meal and have that in the refrigerator, or maybe cook some muffins and have those available for the morning. If you're looking in their cabinets, you can often get a good glimpse of what their dietary requirements are. I mean, if they've got gluten-free flour in the cabinet, don't bring them gluten-laden bagels as a treat, I mean, be logical, look at what you think their requirements might be and anticipate those. Or if you don't want to do that, maybe just buy them some flowers and just make the house look nice and fresh for when they arrive. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we want to make that exchange at the end comfortable and easy for everybody. And, quite selfishly, we want good reviews so that we get great house sits the next time.
Right.
So when we're doing that final handoff at the end, it's okay to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even say, maybe if we're not going to see them, I'll write them a note or I'll say this verbally. We had such a great time. We'll give you a 5-star review. Hope you'll do the same for us. Let us know if there's any problems and so on. And just kind of, suggestively suggest that a 5-star review is what you're looking for and what you'll give if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, you know what? I just remembered one tip. Let me kind of rewind a little bit. We want to make sure from the homeowners what kind of communication they want from us during the sit.
Right.
And pictures or videos of their pet. Some want to see, every day or every hour.
5 times a day,
they want to see,
or once
they
a
want to see
week.
pictures, and that's fine. But ask that in the beginning, because sometimes you'll inundate them with pictures, and they'll be like, "Stop! We don't need to see."
Or they're paying international message charges, and they're like, "God, stop sending me pictures of my dog." So
that rarely happens.
Yeah.
but do that communication in advance.
And then finally, at the end, after you've left, Trusted House Sitters will send you a request to review the property and review the house sit. And do that. I mean, do your honest review, explain what was great about it, encourage other people to take the sit if you thought it was great, designate how many stars you're going to give, and then request from the homeowner that they review you as well. And then you'll start getting those 5-star reviews, and then you'll have a portfolio of 5-star reviews. And then pretty soon, every time you apply to a Trusted House Sit, you're the 5-star candidate, and your house sits start getting easier and easier to get, and better once you get all those 5-star house sits lined up. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to our videos and use the referral link down below. And if you missed our first video last week, we'll drop it right here so you can see the strategies and benefits for why you want to be house sitting in your full-time nomad life. Talk to you next week.